Stop me now, my body they hold me down. Now I me I don't fish out, cause I'm gonna be alright. Uncle Suru, still got a long way to go. I know when you said you know, say now true. Gotta do what you gotta do, Suru, like Suru, Uncle Suru, yeah. Taking my me to face, I'm gonna become a big star. Big star, big star. .1 FM, and of course it is time for the program Accelerate Lagos, the first edition in the year 2024. And of course, you know how we do it on the program. The first episode, or the first 2-3 episodes in the year, we try to do a review of events that took place the previous year. And so on the program this morning, we shall be dwelling on goal setting for the year 2024, charting your path to success in the year 2024. Okay, so apparently there's no way we can do all of this without talking about things we did in the past year, just to chart the course forward. Good morning once again and welcome. I am Taiwo Baruwa, welcoming you to the program Accelerate Lagos here on Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. My first guest on the program this year will be joining me via telephone, and of course in a short while, certainly he's going to be joining the conversation. Taiwo Baruwa is the managing partner and CEO Strengths Africa. He's going to be on the program this morning, and certainly he's going to be joining me in a bit.
Accelerate Lagos is brought to you by the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund.
And yes, do not forget that this program has been brought to you by the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund. And of course, that's the Lagos State agency saddled with the responsibility of trying to reduce unemployment to the barest minimum, either by training or giving out loans or even giving out grants to businesses situated within Lagos. And to have access to all of these, in the course of the year, certainly we will be doing a recap on some of the things that are required for you to have access to any of these facilities. One major thing you need to know is the fact that you must be a resident of Lagos State. Your business must be situated in Lagos State. That's the number one factor you need to put into consideration to have access to any of these facilities. Okay, so while I await the call of my guest this morning on the program, let me quickly take a break. Of course, when I return, hopefully we'll be able to establish that connection with my guest, that's Taiwo.
Timeliness begins with the letter T. We strive to maintain timeliness in disseminating information to our listeners, and that is why we are reliable. Being the most reliable radio station providing traffic information in Africa is our vision. Maintaining the A status, which is accurate. Accuracy in serving you real-time traffic situation reports live from the roads in details. We are dynamic in every way. With the use of modern technology and well-motivated workforce, we keep you up to date with information on all modes of transportation, and that has been our objective. Being the first authentic traffic radio station in Africa, Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM, moving Lagos forward.
So in the year 2023, under review, a couple of things LSCT have actually put out there for you to benefit from. One of it is the Africa Social Impact Summit, which they actually partnered Sterling One Foundation on that one as a social impact agency. And of course, the theme of that program was Global Vision, Local Action, Repositioning the African Development Ecosystem for Sustainable Outcomes. Strikes are called with us, and of course, the participant actually looked forward to a couple of things in the course of the conversation in the course of that program. And that's the Africa Social Impact Summit that actually held in August last year. Another thing they actually put out there in the year 2023 was the upscaling your business with loans and grants. That specifically was a program that was put together by LSCTF. Let me see if this is Taiwo. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good Good morning.
Hello?
I believe I am on to Olusheye Taiwo.
Yes, you are.
Okay, it's my pleasure to host you on the program. I am Taiwo Baruwa.
Oh, hello, Taiwo. How are
Hi.
you?
I am very well, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's get down to business. We're way behind schedule now. And like I said earlier to our listeners, we're going to be talking goal setting, charting your path to success in the year 2024. Like I said earlier, my guest is the managing partner and CEO Strength Africa. He is Olusheye Taiwo Adepoju. Taiwo, let's start with, are you there, Taiwo?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, so let's start with some of the things that entrepreneurs did last year that you think can be done better this year before we start setting goals.
Okay, so and thank you, Namesake, for this question. So one of the things that should even be a precursor to this question is to say, have we been able to reflect on the activities of last year? And for last year, it was more about awareness, agility and adaptability.
Okay.
Now, if you want to truly thrive in 2024, then you must start to have an heightened awareness level where it's almost like you are paranoid, but yes, you are conscious. Okay. Then you also must have agility, the ability to respond quickly to any whims and caprices that you probably would encounter. And then you must now be able to adapt. Those are the three things that, would probably also just get you on the front line in 2024.
Okay. All right, now, so having said that, we already reflected on the past year. Now, let's take a look at some of the things that we need to work on. Having identified some of the things that happened, that went down last year.
So let's imagine you probably are playing in the SME market. And in the SME market, so I would have liked to dimension the likely hurdles that people face in 3 dimensions. The first level will be the personal dimension, which will ultimately affect the professional or the profit dimension, and then there's the purpose dimension. So, imagine if you experience mental imbalance, or you probably just don't have a state of mind to absorb the shocks that attended 2023. So one of the things you want to do is to build mental resilience. Okay. Then if you were your business had experienced some maybe difficulty in terms of finances, there probably would have been a couple of reasons why you were turned down. Okay. One of the key things you also want to do is to say, okay, how am I going to fill this gap? Okay, so is it the credit appraisal criteria that says that by now you should have done a turnover or a threshold or a this? But then also, along your professional standing, there are a couple of gaps with your skills. So what skills did you lack? What skills would make you be able to respond? Remember, I talked about agility, respond faster and better in 2024. Those are the things that should preoccupy your mind as you reflect to say, okay, beyond reflection is about having to take action. Okay?
Yes.
And that's it.
Okay, so Taiwo, in the past, we hear people say, oh, this is my New Year resolution. And I realized that things are fast evolving. And so we have the word goal setting, right?
Okay.
Okay, so can we then say that we have evolved from resolution to goal setting? Or is goal setting another terminology on its own?
Absolutely not. Totally distinct. A resolution is what you've resolved. A goal, setting a goal is intentional.
Okay.
But, I think one of the key problems people face, and so I'm going to be talking in dimensions of 3 or 4, or talking about icons, right? just so that our listeners can have a full grasp of this discourse, is that there's one thing to set a goal, okay? There's another thing to get a goal. And then there's the other element of monitoring and measuring the pace of that goal. Okay, so let's break it down. So goal setting is almost like when you are clear as to, this is what I want to do. I want to lose 25 kg or 10 kg. You set the goal. Okay, it's there. So it almost like once you write and note things down, you have probably also achieved some leverage. All right, so you achieve some success.
True.
But what really now begins to make this happen is your ability to get these goals. And when I say getting goals, is that so in getting those goals, what attempts have you made? So have you, in setting the goals, you said, I want to lose this weight. But in getting the goals, what are the to-dos, the tasks, the activities that must be undertaken? Okay, so let's use losing 10 kg or 75 kg. So I must monitor my portion. I must walk or take periodic walks. I must register at the gym. So at what attempts have you made, or what attempts have you made to achieving that? Oh, okay, I want to quadruple my business. That's you want to set a goal, right?
Yes.
But how do we get to grow your business? So you need to understand that your business probably gets the revenue drive from three major sources: products, services, platform. So what products do I want to improve on? What services do I want to provide? What will I be doing differently from my competitors? How do I want to remain competitive in the market? Those are the things that you must now list and start to work towards this in your getting goals. Now, remember I talked about goal monitoring and measuring.
Absolutely.
It's only what gets measured that gets done. So let's even go back to losing weight now. Before you start your journey, can we determine that, I currently weigh 95 kg. I want to lose 10 kg. So that means that I need to move from 95 to 85 kg. Okay, that's also how it is in business. Have you created a mechanism to monitor, to track, to measure, and to see the progress you are making? So this journey of goal setting, like I said, is not a motivational tool. It's actually intentional. It's an intentional tool towards achieving results. And that's the main difference between a resolution and goal setting, goal getting, and monitoring or goal monitoring and evaluation.
All right.
I hope I didn't shake anything.
Oh, well, if peradventure you actually shook the table, the table is still standing.
Oh, great. Okay.
All right, then. Hold your thoughts there, Taiwo. Let's quickly take a traffic report. You're still on to Lagos Traffic Radio, 96.1 FM. The program is Accelerate Lagos. On the program today, we are talking goal setting, charting your path to success in 2024. Okay, so I have a report of a broken down, loaded tractor that's around Ijara Lokpa by Water Corporation Inward Loma. Okay, and I understand the tire is actually pulled out and the effort is on to get it fixed because it cannot be towed. Okay, so Taiwo.
Yes.
Okay, so now let's talk about how goal setting contributes to a rewarding and fulfilling career journey.
Okay, so the journey about life is being intentional, and it was Stephen Covey that talked about self-fulfilling prophecies. That somehow when you set your mind around a cause or an objective,
Yes.
You, like I said, you are almost there. You just soon see those things beginning to manifest around you.
Okay.
And this is not necessarily the law of attraction, but it's just the way the elements work. Okay, the way nature works.
Yes.
Nature abhors a vacuum. So every time you are fixated with a particular thought. So let me even talk about the red car theory. Okay, there's this theory that if I tell you that you're going to be paid for every red car you see on your way from Festa to Victoria Island, what do you think would naturally happen? If I told you I was going to pay you $50, your consciousness. You're going to have an heightened consciousness of the red cars on
mental
the road.
alertness, you meant.
Yes, absolutely. So even for you, okay, you're setting your goals also. If you have put those things down, almost like the red car effect with a price tag to it, okay, you will constantly have those thoughts reoccurring.
Absolutely.
And what happens, from the reoccurrence of those thoughts, eventually leads to you, breaking through in your mind as to what can happen. So it's in your subconscious, and then that drives you to achieving those results. So let's take it even into something more practical. So a career goal. You probably want to move levels in terms of. I probably want to give me any examples you probably want us to work with, and then I'll just use this to.
No, you can work on any example as a business owner.
Okay. So, for instance, you probably want to start to export. Okay, you have a goal of export. If you've noted it down, over time, because you want to export your product or you want to be export ready, you will soon realize that after some time, the materials that will begin to pop on. So let me even use this better example. So you know when we use our phones, there's this algorithm that is able to sense what we really require over time.
Yeah, sure.
That's also how the goals are. You probably are constantly checking for makeup, okay?
Yes.
That's what you're going to be fixating your mind on, and consciousness will pop up.
Yeah.
That's also how this works with the red card theory, with your setting of goals, is that it's the things that you preoccupy your mind with, that features constantly. And those things, because they feature consciously and subconsciously in your mind, there's down the impetus, the drive to wanting to achieve them. And that's how it can also help professionally and profitably also is for business. Okay, and that's basically it. So I usually recommend a framework. There's this framework around. So some people will tell you, we want to set goals. The goals must be smart. Yes, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound, right?
Yes.
Or timely. But for us as Strength Africa, one of the things we've tried to do is also not just go with the norm, is to evolve new methodologies that are easily able to be achievable. So one of it is called the claims methodology. And claim is an acronym: C, L, A, I, M, S. Claims. So it's time to claim all that you set as a goal.
Okay.
And what does claim mean? So let's run through the acronym. C is for clarity. Remember, when we talked about wanting to lose weight, right?
Yes.
Are you clear as to where you are now? So the first thing about the clarity is that you must be clear as to where you are now and where you want to go. Okay, so that's the first thing. The second element as to the claims methodology is that everywhere you want to go, can you please learn about where you want to go? So imagine you want to grow your business to become export ready, or you want to increase your revenue. Can you learn? That's the L. Can you learn about how to get there? Okay, what needs to be done? Now, then there's the bit around alignment. And it's wonderful we are talking on traffic radio, all right? So if the wheels are not aligned, right, what naturally happens is that you dissipate energy negatively, because you have to hold on to the steering and ensure that it doesn't jet to the left.
Otherwise, your car keeps tilting.
Absolutely. And so that's also how we must align our goals with our consciousness and with our activities. So you don't want to stop smoking as a goal, and then you are busy always in the bar. Your goals must align with your destination as to what you envision. Okay, so that is the alignment, and everything you learn, okay, in the course of trying to move from point A to point B, should also be properly aligned in terms of association, in terms of alliances, and several other things for Apple application. So let's talk about the 3 I's. Okay, the I in that claim spelling, C-L-A-I. There are 3 things that must naturally happen anytime you want to go on a new job. The first one is that there are things you must interrupt. That's interruption. There are some things you must stop doing, okay, to interrupt. The second thing is that there are things you must improve. okay, every time you probably get an insight, almost like some of our listeners are getting, and they will just say, oh, there are things I now need to improve on. So that's the second thing that must happen. Then the third thing that must happen is introduction, starting. That means that you probably are oblivious of certain truths. So you probably were doing resolutions, or you were probably just staying at the point where you were setting goals and not getting goals and monitoring goals. You say, oh, can I introduce this? Courtesy of what Taiwo Baruwa is doing today. And then we move on that journey. So those are the three R's. Then M and M. So monitor and measure is not the M and M. It's like create a mechanism to monitor constantly and measure. And then the S. The S is, so I call them the three S's, right? The first one is their skills you require for wherever you want to go to. There are synergies you require. That means associations you need to be part of to get you to where you are going to faster. And then you must now be able to develop a holistic strategy, okay, almost like a war veteran, to say, this is how I want to tackle this. Because it's war. Really, it's war. And, you know, the mind is configured. The way the brain works is that the brain cannot distinguish between reality and falsehood. Okay, so that's why every time you go and watch a movie, yes, you paid for the movie, right? But you probably will shed a tear. You become emotional, or you become fearful. Why? It's that your brain is working on impulses, all right, based on what is being said. So that's also how you must consciously work on your brain to the point where you must now get the desired result, because it's war. Your body is used to a particular pattern, is used to a particular route. You must now break through, okay? And the only way that breakthrough can come is when you operationalize the use of the claims methodology of saying, I want to move from here to move to that point.
All right, then. So, Lagos, you might just be wondering the voice of who you have been listening to. I have been speaking with Taiwo Baruwa, the managing partner and CEO, Strengths Africa. He has taken us to the classroom this morning, talking about goal setting and charting your path to success in 2024. Of course, if you are an entrepreneur in Lagos, this is a conversation you want to be a part of this morning. You want to listen to us and, of course, internalize one or two things. You can also be a part of this conversation. Should you have any question or any concern, you might just want to maybe tap into a sort of free consultation, because you can actually put through a question at him, and of course he will certainly oblige you this morning. 0809-9120777 is the number to call to be a part of this conversation, or you can also call on 0915-387-7127. Put your call through now and tap into this opportunity. It's one of the numerous opportunities that LSCTF would certainly throw at you in this year, 2024. Now, Taiwo, let's take a look at, we'll take a look at 2023 again. What were some of the key trends, lessons, and takeaways for entrepreneurs and professionals? We need to highlight these things because some persons, you know, in a classroom, you have some people who are so fast at, you know, understanding things, while there are some people that you have to break it down. You have to cite an example for them to really have an idea of what you're talking about. So we want to go back to that 2023 and cite some sort of examples on trends, lessons, and takeaways for entrepreneurs and professionals in the year 2023.
Okay. So one of the major threats that hit every entrepreneur, or even everyone in Lagos or in Nigeria, was around the fuel.
The fuel hike, the hike in fuel price.
The hike, yes, the pump prices, right? And that distorted a lot of things. But that also led a lot of people to start to say, how can we also become more productive without having to, what do I say, a double handle in terms of having to, so people are consciously aware that you didn't have to start to go everywhere, even though COVID had prepared us for that, but this further prepared us to the point where, so people were coming up with, say, can we have reduced work week? Can we have opportunities to have other people deliver? So the logistic companies were repositioning and all of that. Now, So if you ask me about a trend, I would have said, what? So obviously in that sector, you realize that people now are becoming more conscious of the alternative, okay, that are available. And over the next few years, not as a futurist, but with the reality that we can see that is glaring, is that so you have people doing conversion kits, and they probably want to do gas-powered vehicles or electric-powered vehicles.
Yes.
Maybe at some point, people would the issue around solutions around sharing. Hiking, almost like what you have with some of the vehicle sharing platforms. You'll probably also see a bit of that. So people are commuting to a particular location and they are common. They have a common route. There will be more of that in place. That's for transportation. There will also be other interventions around that to say, okay, do I want to take the rail? Do I want to? So organizations and individuals begin to morph in their minds and say, okay, how best can I deal with this? So as an SME also, there were issues around FX challenges, okay? And we saw the instant devaluation of the naira. So imagine you were holding, and it's okay to buy land, yes, but imagine you have a store of value of, say, and I hope I can call numbers here, say maybe 50 million naira. Literally, that 50 million naira became 25 million. Just by you not engaging that money. Why?
Absolutely.
So if you were trading, or if you were buying, or if you wanted to buy offshore, as at today, or as at that time that there was a spike, you soon realize that you did not have the capacity to buy what you were buying for 50 million. So inflation setting. So how then can we become nimble? So people are already thinking, when I want to save to invest, rather than just saving, do I want to hold in a different feature, in a different currency? Do I want to invest or save along the lines where the returns will give me an alternative currency? If I wanted to purchase, do I want to get into a long lead agreement where I tie people to a price that does not fluctuate? Okay, so for instance, I'm placing an order, and I know that I'm going to need this order frequently over the next 6 months because I've positioned or submitted a proposal to an organization. What I will do with my supplier is to lock them down on a particular price and tell them up until this time. That's it. Or if I'm preparing invoices, I'm saying, okay, with these invoices, please note that the prices are only sellable for the next 14 days or the next 7 days. Because like I said, in this year, one of the things that we must do is that we must be aware of the vagaries of the times. We must be agile. That means our response time must be heightened, and then we must be able to adapt rapidly to any of the changes in the environment. So, look at 2023. So if you were not consciously aware of the annual return as a business person, PHA has also extended it to March. Okay, so can you go and file your annual returns? And this is that for CAC is that if you are not, if you don't file your annual returns, you'll be deleted come 2024 March. They've extended it. If you are not tax compliant, there's a newcomer. Okay, you not know that this newcomer, that's the Company and Allied Matters Act. Okay, allows you to be able to do business as an individual running as a limited liability company. So how do you want to morph the organization from a business name to a limited liability company? It can happen now. Or how do you start to deal with your tax return? We have a new tax stars around. It means that they are going to go all bent on taxes. Okay. Recently, they just said there might be a slight push with the tax that businesses will pay, with individuals pay. So, are you ready? Are your papers in check? Children will be more competitive. What are you doing differently from last year? So you say, look, there's a lot of people now, a lot of businesses are being funded. There's now a lot of things are being pushed. How do you want to differentiate yourself in that market? Those are the things you reflect on, that, hey, this is what 2023 probably did to me, but I must now be resilient. Okay, I must push through and then ensure that I can make a difference.
Okay, so Taiwo, in making this difference now, let's talk about some of the common mistakes that entrepreneurs make when setting goals or agenda, as it were, and how can these mistakes be prevented?
Okay, so every day, I know what to do with the traffic radio, right? We really cannot predict what the traffic will be.
Sure.
Just like you also announced, the tires are pulled off the truck. That's also how when we set goals, it's just it's just cast in stone. It means that there will be, you must position your mind to the point where you must believe that there will be obstacles. And so your readiness, almost like your readiness for obstacles, will be tied to your problem-solving mindset. Okay? Where you're a troubleshooter, and problem solving, you're solving problems. You're thinking, what are the next best things to do? How do I respond? Because what usually happens is that it's not El Dorado. People think that, yes, I've set my goals, I want to go and get my goals. So what happens the day it starts to rain? What happens the day you have a flat tire? What happens? What are the response mechanisms you have put in place? All right, contingencies, all right, mitigants, to ensure that when this happens, okay, you can respond in this order. If you have cash flow problems, you have a customer that has been supplying you that can quickly release goods to you before you get paid. Those are the things that you start to work around. If the orders push beyond your bank limit, what other alternatives do you have? Have you built your credibility to the point where you can also, draw income on credit or whatever other things? So we're saying that there will be obstacles. These are inevitable, when we set goals. But the key is overcoming them. It lies in our resilience ability, our problem-solving mindset. It's about our ability, okay, to anticipate potential challenges, and have what we call contingency plans.
Yes.
So constantly you must keep, exploring or thinking as almost like the devil's advocate. What can go wrong? And like I said, you must be paranoid. This paranoia would also ultimately just say, what then do you do? If A happens, what do you do? I'm not one of those that says we will not grieve for anybody, but it's like this: you have to just push on against all odds.
Absolutely, we just have to choose what we focus on, regardless. So let's. We shouldn't fail to talk about the external factors that can deter individuals from achieving their goals and how that can be mitigated, because already we identified one as the hike in fuel price, and of course I'm sure there are several other factors that a business owner should put into consideration. In a minute, kindly touch on 3 of them that business owners should look out for in the year 2024.
Okay, so I'm not a soothsayer, but one of the things I'll tell you is that focus on the things you have control over rather than things you have no control over.
Okay.
However, just as a futurist, I can just easily tell you that be aware that there are climatic changes, right? How are you bracing up for those changes in climate?
Yes.
There's going to be food challenges. How are you bracing up for food challenges? I have already mentioned something around the tax.
Yes.
Tax is going to hit at bracing up for those things. We have an open market now called the African Free Trade Area Agreement that the continent of Africa is waiting for us. How are we positioning ourselves to now begin to move into those markets where they are eagerly waiting for Africa or for Nigerians or the case may be. So it's beauty all along. And maybe just one more thing, skills. What skills do you want to develop make you more competitive in this time and globally?
Skill. What skill do you want to develop to make you competitive globally? One last word from you, Taiwo, before I let you go.
So I'll just say, never let your limitations determine your destination. Okay? I'm sorry, never let your location determine your destination. So that you are having difficulties wherever you are now, or challenges as you are faced with, either as a business person, as a career person, don't let it stop you from dreaming dreams, okay? Don't let it stop you from moving forward. Just put your eyes on the ball, and like you said, develop that resilience, develop the problem-solving mindset, and should definitely also be getting to that point, because we all have it enough. We just need to bring it out.
All right, then, develop that resilience. That's one thing I will be taking away. Quite a number of things I noted here. One thing you must do is build that resilience, either mentally, psychologically, or economically. You just have to build that resilience in you. Of course, another thing he touched on, he did say you should actually put this acronym down, the CLAIMS acronym, which stands for clarity. You also have LEARN, which is the L there. You have alignment. You have I, which stands for interrupt, improve, and introduction. You have monitor and measure, which the M stands for, and you have skill and synergy, which S stands for. A lot of things you missed if you weren't part of this conversation from the beginning of this program today. I must say a very big thank you to Olusoye Taiwo Baruwa, who is the managing partner, CEO, Strengths Africa. Thank you so much for gracing the program today. I really appreciate your contribution.
Thank you, Taiwo. I feel truly honored. And thank you, LSTF. I truly appreciate it.
All right. Well, we're really honored to have you on the program. And so, an unintentional life accepts everything and does nothing. An intentional life embraces only the things that will add to the mission of significance. And it's on that note that I draw the curtains on today's edition of Accelerate Lagos. It's been a wonderful edition, the very first in the